Welcome to the WNBA on NBC. I am so happy and delighted to be joined by Owen Pence because we're about to talk the Minnesota Lynx, and this team just gets me so excited because I love the way that they play basketball, and I do not understand people who say this team is boring. I do not get it, Owen. I always call them the San Antonio Spurs of the WNBA because how do you not appreciate this team? And okay, fine. If you just don't appreciate fundamentals, at this point, they have everything. To me, they have Kayla McBride's 3-point shooting. They have the finesse of Olivia Miles. She's like little Magic Johnson out there. Or let me not even bring the men into this. She is the point guard junior, but they call her the spectacle. You know what I'm saying? They have Napheesa Collier. Woo, she is back and looking so good. And then Courtney, who is a mid-range assassin. Yes, I still have appreciation for the mid-range, and this renaissance of Natasha Howard. I mean, they are from 1 to 5. They have to be the best starting 5 in the league. And oh, by the way, have Nia Coffey coming off the bench, who should definitely be a WNBA all-defensive team candidate this year, in my opinion. And so this team is so good. They are a machine. They are a machine. They were on a 10-game losing streak. Okay, they lose one. Cheryl gets into the postgame and says they were all just terrible on defense. She did not want to talk about offense. Said, you guys are like the players. Don't ask her about offense. And then they come out and they handle business and they start a new win streak. It's 2 games now. But I mean, this team is so good, Owen. And let's just start with the last game and Kayla McBride and her breaking the 3-point games record. 10 3-point makes in a game. I believe she had 43 points, which may also be a career high for her. I mean, you just gotta love McBuckets. I love this for her. Her interview after the game when she's just like, this game just gives so much to me. I just love it. I mean, Owen, I just wanted to cry. She's so amazing. I mean, just Kayla, the Lynx. What do you make of this team, Owen?
They are so good. I couldn't agree more with everything you said. If you don't enjoy watching this team, I question whether you enjoy the sport at all, just like those classic San Antonio Spurs teams. And Cheryl Reeve is the GOAT. I loved her reaction to that one loss. It was so classic. It's like, I don't care that we just won 10 in a row. The players want to talk about offense. We lost this game because of defense. I, too, got a little bit emotional watching Kayla McBride's interview after scoring a career-high 43 points. She's one of my favorite people I've ever interviewed in the league, ever encountered. Just so down to earth and really appreciative of this situation that she's in. I found it interesting, her mentioning she didn't even know whether she was going to be back this year and what it would look like, etc. And now you find yourself in the absolute ideal basketball situation for an elite 3-point shooter like Kayla is. And by the way, she's really good at just about every other element of the game as well. I also enjoyed in the post game when she was asked about the crowd chanting her name. And she was like, Kayla, by the way, too, not even K-Mac. Sometimes I forget my name is Kayla. This is such a great vibe that this team has going on. They are firing on all cylinders. It's a starting 5 that to me is reminiscent of the Breanna Stewart, Sue Bird, Seattle Storm teams. And not just because Natasha Howard is the center on both of those teams, although that is a fun through line of the comparison. But just when you think about a team where could you have a more perfectly constructed starting 5 in terms of players who complement one another, get the most out of one another? I can't remember one being that good since the 2018 and 2020 Seattle Storm title teams. The Minnesota Lynx have basically led the league in net rating the whole season, whether they had Napheesa Collier or not. And as you mentioned, this team is deep too. Nia Coffey, so good, was starting for them before Napheesa came back, now is coming off the bench. I also want to shout out Maya Caldwell, who was basically an afterthought, was selected by the Portland Fire in the expansion draft, and then was traded at the end of training camp for a third-round pick. Third-round picks don't have much value at all in the WNBA. She's played crunch time in a few games, Cheryl Reeve clearly trusts her. She was guarding Caitlin Clark when the Lynx beat the Fever. She's good for 2 or 3 really important hustle plays a game where she'll get an offensive rebound, create an extra possession for this team. I mean, I could go on and on. They are so clearly the best team in the league, and they're a joy to watch.
For sure. And, I remember when they picked up Maya, I was like, man, that's a sneaky good pickup. They also just added Chloe Bibby, who really hasn't done much for them yet. But like, I remember I tweeted when I saw that they got her like right at the trade deadline, like, they can't keep getting away with this. I mean,
Classic
you add
Cheryl.
another like shooting threat like that to your team. I mean, Cheryl is the best coach in the WNBA, and I'm sorry, she needs to win Coach of the Year this year. I think her greatness gets taken for granted, and the way that we say Asia Wilson should be winning the MVP every year, not we say, but her game demands it, and her play. I think Cheryl Reeve's coaching does too, and I get like, yes, what Nakase is doing over in Golden State Valkyries is tremendous. And I get like, Smesko last year was in the conversation, and Sydney and Washington. There are so many good coaches. Last year was Nate Tibbetts. I mean, there are so many coaches who definitely have cases, but I believe sustained success and winning should be rewarded. And I thought the lead that the Minnesota Lynx had last year over the field, like that kind of distance between one and then the second best team, was astounding. And then, this year you come back, you don't have Fee for a large part of the season, and you think like, I don't think anyone thought they wouldn't be a playoff team, but I don't think anyone thought they would be the #1 team with the best net rating, and that's largely due to adding a rookie in Olivia Miles to the lineup that they drafted, when all of us were like, oh, Napheesa's going to go out. Cheryl has to go with the big. We don't know what we're talking about. Let's just not ever question or speak on the Minnesota Lynx. Okay, Cheryl, you were the GOAT, and this team is so amazing. And now, we talked about them getting Napheesa Collier back in the mix, who, by the way, is averaging like 19 points, shooting over 50% from the field, over 50% from 3 on like 4.6 makes per game. Like, she's averaging over a block, averaging over a steal, 1 steal. Like, Napheesa Collier was added to a team that already had the best net rating in the league. And like, Courtney, you see her on the screen, you see K-Mac, you see all of them, and it's just, they do it by committee. It can be anyone's night on a given night, Owen. And I think that's what makes this team so dangerous. You know what I mean? Like, on a given night, any one of them can like have their night, but they're impacting the game every night. And, Cheryl brought up the fact that like K-Mac should have been an all-star, and she should have. But I do want to make clear, because this is not like us just not recognizing them. She did get off to a little bit of a slow start in the beginning of the season. It wasn't shooting like herself, just wasn't, playing the way she is playing now. And that the beginning of when that started was after the media had already voted, or near the end of it, but it was like sort of during when the coaches were voting. But like, obviously, if she was playing like this from day one, she absolutely would have been an all-star. And so it's interesting to see, she could maybe be the second player since Tip Hayes to end up making an all WNBA team and not having been an all-star. But I think she's certainly worthy of that consideration.
100%. This team is so deep. And as you said, anyone on any given night can be the star. I'm almost inclined to say it's ridiculous. It's unbelievable that Napheesa has come back and looked like peak first-team All-WNBA Napheesa Collier. But then I hesitate to frame it that way because the Lynx are so intentional about everything they do. They are so deep. Olivia Miles has come into the league and as a rookie is an MVP candidate. And so the byproduct of that is the Lynx were afforded the luxury to take their time with Napheesa's recovery, make sure that she was 100% before returning, and she's re-entering a team context that could not be more stable, that was functioning so well even without her, and now she's just able to add to all of that and be the incredible two-way player that she is. You just can't say enough about Olivia Miles and the leadership role that she has taken on and is so capable of taking on as a rookie. And when Minnesota came to New York earlier in the season, and I got to ask Cheryl Reeve about Olivia Miles, you could just tell that Cheryl does not dole out compliments lightly, or when you can tell when it's a different level of adoration, of respect, that she has for a young player in this league. And Olivia fit that bill to a T, where it's not just about the basketball. It's not just what she's doing on the court, but it's her hunger to learn. It's her hunger to compete. It's her hunger to take on more and more responsibility and say, okay, our star is out. I am going to fill that role until she returns. And when she returns, I'm going to make her even better and make everyone around me better. It's no coincidence that Kayla McBride has surged into all WNBA conversations after not even making the All-Star team, and she deserves all the credit for that. But so do her teammates, and so does Olivia Miles, who just knows where everyone is on the floor at all times, anticipates help side defense, anticipates a rotation, sees past that rotation to hit the player who's going to be open because the defense is helping in another spot. They're so fearsome. They're equally good on offense and defense. And I'm going to echo what you said. Cheryl Reeve is the GOAT. Why would we ever doubt her? Every single year she does this. We just get so used to her being the GOAT that it's like, okay, Coach of the Year has to go to the team that improved the most. It's like, well, am I taking anyone over Cheryl Reeve going into a season? Probably not.
Right. Well, listen, absolutely. Look, you said we can't talk enough about Olivia Miles, so let's talk a little more about her. And it's a good point you bring up, though, about Kayla, because she herself said that, when she talked about a little bit of the slow start she was having, she said part of it was getting used to playing with Olivia and getting the ball in places where, like, she wasn't used to getting it, Yeah. And that's remarkable. That is amazing. And she was gloating about her again the other day, just saying, like, man, when you're playing with the true point guard, remember when she had that highlight reel with Olivia where she, like, did that behind the back pass, and Kayla's like, man, when you get that, it's sort of pressure, you got to complete that play, and of course she's K-Max, so she knocks it down. But the way Olivia has transformed this team, Courtney Williams has talked about how happy she is to be back to her natural position. I spoke to Napheesa Collier on the orange carpet and during All-Star weekend, and she referred to Olivia as a generational talent and just could not stop talking about her. And so, it's no surprise she's moved up in the MVP race. And when I say that, like, yeah, there's the race is how we talk about it in the media. But I went a couple of weeks ago, Tarika and I sat here and we talked about our MVP ballots, and we, like, if we were voting that day and who we think are the top. And we actually just sort of had like 4, because we thought the race was between, like, Asia, if you wanted to call it a race at that time, and then Olivia, Paige, and Stewie. And we were like, somebody from the Fever is probably going to be in there, but we don't know who. But the odds at that time were so in favor of Asia. It was like, I remember I was like, look, should this be another unanimous for Asia? Look at the shift in the odds, Owen. I mean, look, Asia is still favored for sure, but Olivia is firmly in second in the odds at a plus 500.
It's absolutely... Yeah, go ahead.
No, go, Owen, go.
It's remarkable. I mean, she wasn't even the first overall pick. Like, this is the second overall pick in the draft, and now she's just sitting in second place and getting closer and closer to Asia. And you know what? It's so deserved. And I love what you brought up about K-Mac saying that it took a little bit of an adjustment period because Olivia is that good. And I love Courtney Williams' role on this team and the relationship that Olivia and Courtney have, because there's so much room for jealousy or competition where, okay, Courtney's back at the 2 and now Olivia's getting all the credit. Courtney Williams will have games where she scores 28 points and is so clutch and is hitting all of her middies. Courtney will also have games where she's not even playing in crunch time and isn't hitting her shots. The one constant in both of those types of games is Courtney Williams is cheering on her teammates, is so hype when Olivia makes one of these ludicrous highlight reel plays, which, by the way, is happening like 4 or 5 times a game. I don't know what's more impressive, the fact that Olivia makes the consistent, not flashy plays, or the fact that she's finishing all of these flashy plays. But it's like it only took 30 games for us to become accustomed to the reality that Olivia Miles is just comfortably in second place in MVP odds. That doesn't make any sense. Not supposed to happen, and yet she's earned every bit of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that the Minnesota Lynx have officially begun the MVP campaign for Olivia Miles. They finally have been tweeting from their account to basically let everyone know she is in the MVP race. And I love that they're doing that because, quite frankly, I've gotten tired of this. Olivia Miles is the rookie of the year. Yeah, we know. Tell me something I don't know, right? Like, she's obviously going to be the rookie of the year. With all due respect to the other rookies having amazing seasons like AZ Fudd and Flaw and Sydney and just all the other rookies who are playing so well right now, okay? But Olivia Miles, that's her award. We need to start talking about her in the MVP race because that's what she has been. And over here, we've been doing that. Some people who are now just coming to this party, that's on them. But yeah, she's the MVP. We'll say it for sure. Say it loud because she is, and I should say she's in the conversation. If I was voting on this day right now, I would still give my vote to Asia, but it's important because she would be like, just the fact that she's a legitimate candidate. Only one player ever has won Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same season, and that is the Candace Parker. And Candace Parker has weighed in on this conversation about whether Olivia should be MVP, and she says she can't disagree. You know what I mean? And so I don't think she was saying like, yeah, she shouldn't necessarily be it and is discounting Asia, but like she's a legitimate candidate. And to all the people who have been scoffing and saying, oh, it's because she went to the #1 team or wait till what it looks like when Napheesa gets back. Well, hey, what are y'all going to say now? You're going to keep moving the goalposts because Napheesa Collier has been back. And if anything, her numbers have gotten better since Fee's return. So what you gonna say now? I mean, look, our very own Cheryl Miller gave her the name The Show. Another nickname for her is The Spectacle. I think that one might be my favorite, but this girl is Showtime, and I am just loving what she brings to this league, to this team, to women's basketball. And you can't say enough about Olivia Miles.
You really can't. We're so lucky. I haven't felt this way about a player in a while where you can't even get up in the middle of the second quarter to go get a snack in the kitchen for 2 seconds if Olivia Miles is on the court. That's how electric she is. She set the bar so high that, as you said, Rookie of the Year, not even a conversation. We don't even need to discuss that anymore. First team all WNBA, not even a discussion. She's an absolute lock for that. That means she has firmly been one of the 5 best players in the league. I too would still have Asia Wilson as my MVP and then have Olivia and Stewie second and third in some order. Probably Olivia second at this point. That's just how good she's been. And it's been in every context. When they've needed her to be the star, she's the star. Now she's also setting up Napheesa Collier, who herself is a star. It's so good for the league to have a player like this that is so fun to watch, is so good in her team context, and has such an awareness and a real appreciation for the history of the game. She's someone who respects the legends, who is so appreciative to be in a context where there are so many Hall of Famers in the Minnesota organization that she can go and talk to, which just makes you even more excited for what she could accomplish in the future.
Absolutely. Well, the MVP race is heating up, and I think if the Lynx move up, in the standings and create some more distance. Can't really move higher than 1, but if they create some more separation, the conversation might get a little bit more interesting. Thank you for joining us on the WNBA on NBC. We appreciate the support. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, the WNBA on NBC, so you do not miss out.